of course, there are layers to energy, right? I'm reading for a collective of people. This is not a personal. If that's something that you're interested in, you can book with me, link in bio. But basically, there's two ways that this could go, because at first it's almost like this contract is being burned and activated so that you guys can come back together here. And then for some people, there is a yeah, see, look, it's time for a beginner's mind, a truth that transcends the illusion, right? So you're sitting in an illusion right now. You possibly are sitting in an illusion about your person. Okay, so can you clarify that energy, please, my beautiful angels? They're telling me clearing. Look at, clear out the clutter. Clear, the clearing, the purifying. To trust in the magic of this connection. To trust in the wisdom, the prophecy that you receive. They're telling me it's time. And overcome the obstacle. It's time to overcome the obstacle. And what is the obstacle? Let's make it clear as day, please. That sometimes life stings. But trust the great mystery. They're showing me the coyote to trust in divine detours. To trust in the divine detours. The obstacle of not everything goes as planned. That not everything unfolds as you want it to. That not everything is meant to play out exactly as you possibly have envisioned. But starting from part 1, prophecy. You already see. You already know. Are you not trusting what you're seeing? Are you not trusting fully your intuition, the messages that you're receiving that are going to help you transcend this illusion? They're telling me of abandonment. Okay, so do you feel abandoned by your person? Abandoned and or rejected? Okay, because I mean, abandonment and rejection are two different things, but they sit in the same energetic frequency, right? That lower vibrational energy that tells us that we're unwanted, we're not good enough, that we're left, right? That we're left alone. Trust in the magic. Look it. You, let's let it see if it focuses. You are never alone. Okay, it doesn't want to focus, I guess. You're never alone. And then I open it, it says claim your independence, right? So whatever happened in this connection, you weren't alone in it. You weren't alone in it. Watch and wait. That's this person. They're telling you, you're not alone. I've been watching. I've been waiting. Magic works through you. You're magical AF. Whoever you are, you're magical. Okay, this is an opportunity. It's the turning point. So clearly give my viewer the answers that they need right now to overcome this obstacle. What does my viewer need to understand? Thank you. Healing on the bottom of the deck. It says regulation, nervous system, restored well-being. And then here is Uranus. Revolution, rebellion, liberation, right? So, and this fell over, you are never alone and overcome the obstacle, right? So you need to revolt, right? You need to liberate yourself from the obstacle that's telling you that you're alone, that you got abandoned. You need to heal that. You were never alone. Okay, what is their person they're connected to? Let's see this. The person that they're connected to, how are they feeling? What message are they giving them through this message? Can you clarify? The phase is reflection. Okay, the reason that they rebelled or whatever happened between you two was because they needed to reflect. They needed to reflect on their phases. They stayed hidden. Okay, but look it. If you're showing up, they probably had to do a lot of reflecting on their own feminine energy here. But the subconscious, it's like they intuitively knew too. But they needed to reflect. Your person needed to reflect on stuff. Yeah. On their roots, on feelings of belonging with you. Why is there a person telling them that they're not alone? Can you clarify? Can you clarify, my beautiful angels, why their person is not telling them that they're alone? Magic. And it fell over liberation. You're not alone. Confidence, fear, devotion. You're not there. You're not alone because they were liberated from their confidence of magic, right? Because they're talking about magic and magic working through you and trusting in the magic, right, of your guys' connection. They weren't connected. They weren't connected. They were in fear of being devoted, of being in connection here. Okay, so where are they now? Where is their person now? Thank you. It's not a crossroad anymore. They timeline shift. They shifted. It's divine timing. They quantum leapt. There's no more fears. There's no more indecision here. They're not at a crossroad anymore. They're balanced. And they're balanced because their person is balanced? Question mark. Yeah, they're attuned now. Okay, there's no more of that, like the pendulum going back and forth. They have a direction that's straight towards devotion, to blooming, to softness, to opening, to destiny. They have hope, they have faith. You're their destiny. And they've been sending you these messages telepathically, in the astral, in the dream state. That flew, okay? It was the devotion card. But it flew out in reverse. So it's kind of like this person is coming in and telling you that, like, you had to work just as much as they did, right? They had to go into the depths, right, of their feelings of belonging, in their roots, right? Into their past. But now they see much clearer. They see much clearer. Yeah, the programming, the unseen programming, right? The conditioning. They had to liberate themselves from their conditioning. So now, basically what this is coming to is your person is telling you that I'm balanced now. I see this connection. You were never alone in the same feelings. Maybe they haven't communicated that, but they didn't communicate because they needed to work through their own things, right? And so on your behalf, because they haven't come forward, because they didn't say anything, because you haven't heard from them, however that resonates, right? You're believing that they left you out, that they've just moved on, when that's not the truth. You're not alone in this. So you need to reframe there. You need to release that illusion, because that's what's actually holding them back from communicating. That's why the angels are it's like it's intervention right now, because you need to release yourself from that unseen, that unknown. You need to flow. You need to flow. Because basically you need to rebirth that identity of being abandoned, of being left out. You need to unlock that. You need to create, so it creates the initiation for your person to come through. Yeah. So it creates the initiation. And there's your illumination for your perspective shift, okay? So they're bringing this light. They're illuminating this for you, okay? So that you can shift your perspective, step into your confidence, right? Release the fears and come back into that wisdom, that prophecy. The prophecy, because right now your fear is being projected from your old wounds. It's a distorted view. It's a distorted perspective that you have right now. They want you to come back to the wisdom that the angels are giving you. Trust in your prophecy. Trust that your person has been with you the entire time. Of course, take this as it resonates. This may not be everybody's message. Place yourself where it fits. But when you release this, there's major shifts in the 3D.